Welcome back to What You Didn't Know, Rock and Roll History. So it's been a minute.
You can see us.
Yeah, you can see us. Hi. So the last thing we left off with was the Beatles.
Les Beatles.
And we're sticking with the British invasion.
Indeed.
And so kind of in the same scene, but at the same time, and kind of opposite in not necessarily sound, but opposite
visual
in
presentation.
Yeah. Was the Rolling Stones. So everybody got this good look at the Beatles and was like, wow, British kids they're so wonderful. They're so nice. They're so put together. And then the Rolling Stones came over and was like, yeah.
Yeah.
So the Rolling Stones are such an iconic band. To sum them up would be difficult. They were punk rock, and now they're considered to be classic rock, bordering on oldies. With a career spanning over 6 decades, multiple member changes, and 31 albums, this band has definitely earned the title as one of the most influential bands of all time.
Agreed. You know, I tend to say this in the majority of our episodes, but like, I feel like I might be judging our audience here just a little bit, that anybody who's listening to this podcast, like, you know who the Rolling Stones are.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, they've been, like you said, definitely one of the most iconic.
I mean, you don't last 6 decades and not leave a mark.
No kidding. Like, for sure, though. Definitely a much longer lived career than the Beatles had.
Yes. And do you think the Beatles would be as big as they are if they had lasted as long as the Stones?
Well,
or do you think some of their iconicness is the fact that they were such a flash?
You know, that's kind of a good question. And like, there is definitely something to be said for, you know, right place, right time. There's also something to be said for, like how I kind of opened the first Beatles episode, living fast and burning out bright.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, a decade is a very short time to put out as much material as they did. And at the same time, that just goes to show that, like, regardless of how long they were together, they were prolific songwriters.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, I mean, and there's no getting around that. Nobody can deny that. And the Rolling Stones are a very similar sense. I mean, they didn't write as much material as Quick, but they wrote, you know, quality material.
Yeah.
So was the Beatles' career, or I guess the Beatles' legacy, to be more in line with their songwriting capabilities or more in line with the fact that they did so much so fast? I think the two are almost one and the same.
Okay.
You know, the ability to write such great material so quickly.
Yeah. I was just thinking, I was just like, if the Stones had, or not the Stones, if the Beatles had lasted as long as the Stones had,
would they still be considered such an iconic icon? Yeah. I don't know. That's hard to say. Because they definitely had a lot of great music.
They did. But I
would say that a lot of their music was sensationalized.
It's kind of like Nirvana.
Right. Yeah.
Nirvana
their
didn't
biggest
get
after
big
Cobain died.
After he died. And,
yeah.
and
I mean,
him dying kind of brought them to light to
a much broader audience.
Yeah.
And like I was just saying, the Nirvana was big before Cobain died. And in his notes and journals, there's potentially the fact that Nirvana was big might have been the reason that he wanted to be done. But they definitely got much bigger after the story of his death.
More iconic.
Was publicized. Yeah, more iconic,
yes.
For sure. For sure.
Because I had this discussion the other day. I mentioned Foo Fighters, and somebody said, "Who's that?" And I said, "You know who Nirvana is?" "Oh yeah, I know who Nirvana is."
Yep.
I guess I love the meme. There's a picture of
Dave Grohl.
Dave Grohl when he was in Nirvana next to a picture of him now, and they're like, "Wow, almost looks like the same person."
I wonder why.
But that's like people are like, "Oh, Dwayne Johnson looks just like The Rock."
Yeah, I mean, it's like Superman and Clark Kent.
Right.
You'll never see them in the same room together.
Right.
Big brain energy right there. Dude, speaking of Dave Grohl memes, there's the one of him like in a kitchen or something, and it says, "I've got another confection to bake." I love it. It sticks in my mind. It's one of my favorite memes of all time. Sorry, continue with the Rolling Stones.
So we're going to dive into the Rolling Stones now.
Deeply.
And the story of the Rolling Stones starts with Chuck Berry, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder where we've heard that name.
I don't know, man.
I think we've mentioned
keeps popping up.
Over and over and over.
It's crazy.
I'm telling you, I will connect Chuck Berry to Slipknot. But we're not going to end Slipknot. I'm just telling you, I will make a connection to those two. It's a very long connection.
It is.
We're in this for the long haul.
It is. We are.
If I had somebody message or comment or something and was like, "Hey, I have your connection from Chuck Berry to Slipknot." And I'm like, if I wanted to make one episode about this, I would have done one episode about this.
Yeah, right.
I'm making a series.
Yeah.
Okay. We're that's why we're going through each band.
Yeah.
Not just naming bands. Okay.
Right.
All right. Thank you. Rant over.
Yeah, rant finished.
But the Rolling Stones starts with Chuck Berry. Keith Richards was just a teen when he was holding a Chuck Berry album, thinking to himself, he's probably the only Berry fan for miles, when walks up Mick Jagger. So I didn't mention this in my notes, but let me clarify. I know British Invasion, but he thought he might be the only Berry fan for miles because they were in England.
Indeed.
So to him, this is American rock and roll. Are there a lot of people around me that are listening to American rock and roll?
Right, because at this time, I mean, the I don't know what they would have called it, the Ministry of Music, perhaps, is like they're trying to, what's the word, throttle?
Yes.
Rock and roll.
They were trying to keep rock and roll out of England.
Right.
They were afraid that it would spread, and then teenagers would want to make rock music.
And malcontent with the system, I guess. Which, I mean, any monarchy can pretty much do that on its own. But, the monarchy didn't have much power anymore at this point. But still, it's not the point.
So that is why he's like, "Oh, I think I might be the only Berry fan for miles."
Right.
So up walks Mick Jagger. Okay.
Good old Mickey boy.
The pair knew each other from their primary school days, but lost touch until that fateful day.
Bum, bum, bum.
In 1961, Jagger told Richards that him and some friends all had Chuck Berry albums, as well as other American R&B artists. And the rest is history. No.
No, well, I mean, it turns out that like rock and roll started with American musicians, right? So like I mean, the only reason that rock and roll became a thing in England is because of American rock and roll. So this is like the beginnings of the spread of American mainstream music, I guess. I mean, it's not like the beginning because blues had made its way over and,
right,
you know, a couple of other things. But as far as like long lasting musical influences, this is the start. Rock and roll. It's the longest lasting genre of music ever at this point. Mainstream.
Yes, mainstream.
Because like you still got contemporary classical composers and things like that, but that's totally different.
Well, yeah, I mean, even to this day, we still have other older genres of music.
For sure.
People still making that kind of music, especially blues. I mean,
oh yeah,
blues is still
blues
a
and
thing.
bluegrass. Yeah,
it's just not mainstream enough to get the same attention that rock or pop singers do.
Yeah, for sure.
Or country singers.
And their individual subgenres.
Yeah. I don't know. Is pop and country about the same thing now?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's just pop music with leather pants and cowboy hats.
Yeah. Yeah. Southern pop, man.
Southern pop.
You got California pop. You got Southern pop. Midwest pop is Nickelback. You know.
And everybody just loves to hate on Nickelback.
For sure. I love to hate on Nickelback, but I also love to listen to some Nickelback.
Yeah. Their older stuff.
I mean, they're so hated because they're so popular, but they're so popular for a fucking reason. All right? I'm just throwing that out there.
And the fact that their music it's good. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
and so like they're hated because they're good because all their songs sound the same.
They found a formula.
A lot of artists, all their stuff sounds the same. I mean,
facts.
That's their niche, and they stuck to it.
Yeah, and it works. Still.
Yeah.
Foo Fighters do the same thing. I mean, Dave Grohl's got a formula for songwriting, and he fucking sticks to it. Every fucking Foo Fighters song
if it works,
is a goddamn banger. Most of the time.
I mean, if it stops working,
then you stop doing it.
Right. But no, I mean, if your formula works,
then keep plugging the numbers in.
Yeah. So the Rolling Stones, as we know it today, started to take shape in 1962 after Jagger and Richards met Brian Jones at the Eagle Club in London. The guitarist was playing as part of an outfit called Blues Incorporated.
What a name.
Blues Incorporated. Was that just like a ripoff of Mystery Incorporated?
No, this would have been before that. Scooby-Doo didn't air until 1969.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe they ripped off Blues Incorporated.
Maybe they did.
Damn you, Hanna-Barbera. Do we edit this? Is this just going to stay the way it is? I don't know. It's entertaining, right?
Yeah.
Are you entertained?
I'm entertained. Are you entertained?
Oh, yeah, you. How many cameras
Finding
do we have?
the camera is not easy, okay?
It's just a matter of which camera. We've totally got like 6.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah,
totally.
no.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We can't even get 2 microphones to work on the same computer.
We could if we were still using the old system, but this is far more convenient.
Oh, yes, much.
Far more convenient.
Booking studio time is not easy.
No, for sure. Even when you own the studio.
That's the worst.
Yeah. Like, goodness, man.
Jagger and Richards joined the pack, but soon after, Jones tapped them for his own emerging band. They added in bassist Dick Taylor, drummer Tony Chapman, and keyboardist Ian Stewart rounding out the original lineup of the group.
Yeah. According to Mr. Richards, Brian Jones named the band. Apparently, Jones was on a phone call with a journalist from, what was it, Jazz Weekly, and oh my God, don't touch the mic.
Hold on, I just rung this thing's bell. The whole thing is just vibrating. Give me a second.
I'm keeping that in.
Jesus.
No, apparently Jones was on a phone interview with a journalist from Jazz News, not Jazz Weekly, Jazz News. This guy needed a band name to make some kind of an advertisement for a show that they were supposed to be doing. And while Brian Jones is on the phone with this guy, he looks down at the floor and sees, of all things, a Muddy Waters LP. Right? And
we've talked about them.
Yeah, we've mentioned Muddy Waters once or twice. We didn't do a deep dive on him.
No,
but we talked about him for sure. Well, one of the songs on this LP was called Rollin' Stone. And I guess he just kind of saw that sitting on the floor, and that was the first thing that came out of his mouth in this interview with this journalist. And boom, we have the Rolling Stones.
If you're trying to promote yourself, you kind of need to have a name.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
We are Brian Jones, Richard, Mick Jagger.
The Jones, Richard McJagger Jones.
Yeah. Start listing off everybody in the band's name.
Yeah, for sure. It's just a combination of all of our last names, really. That's who we are.
There we go.
We are us. So they played their first show billed as the Rollin' Stones without a G on the 12th of July in 1962 at the Marquee Club in London. At this point, the lineup was slide guitarist Brian Jones himself. Lead guitarist was Keith Richards. Ian Stewart was the keyboardist. Dick Taylor on the bass. And Tony Chapman on drums. And, of course, Mick Jagger singing, right? So shortly after that gig is when they added the G to the end of the Rollin' Stones. And it became the Rolling Stones as we know it now. And later, in early December of 1962, Bill Wyman auditioned for the role of bass guitarist while at a pub in Chelsea and was subsequently hired as a successor to Dick Taylor. The band were impressed by his instrument and amplifiers, including the Vox AC30, which, like for any of my fellow guitar geeks out there, that's a pretty classic amp. I mean, obviously it's classic. We're talking about 1962 here. So like it's close to the beginning of guitar amplification.
Yeah, it's going to be a little older.
Yeah.
So you said it's a classic amp. So at the time, was that like a top of the line?
Top of the line. I mean, definitely good. Definitely good quality. It's always been good quality. I wouldn't necessarily say, well, yeah, it was probably high end amplification in 1962. Yeah.
All right. That's for those of us that don't know what he's talking about.
Those who know, know. Tell us more.
The classic lineup of the Rolling Stones with Charlie Watts on the drums instead of Tony Chapman played for the first time in public on January 12th of 1963 at the Ealing Jazz Club. However, it was not until a gig there on February 2nd of the same year that Watts would become the Stones' permanent drummer.
Oh.
Not long after this, the band began their first tour in the UK performing Chicago blues, including songs by Chuck Berry and Bo Diddley. By 1963, they were really getting into the swing of things musically and quickly gaining popularity. In fact, the Stones beat out the Beatles for the #1 United Kingdom band in 2 surveys.
2.
Not 1,
2.
but 2.
Like, to be in a position that you're outweighing the Beatles in their own home country.
I mean, it's their home country too.
Well, I mean, I know, but you know, when I feel like when you think about the Beatles,
I feel like the Beatles might have been bigger in the U.S. than they were in England.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, and that's to say, like, the same thing happens with American music too, right? Like,
oh yeah,
you don't usually get huge in the United States without having built a following in Europe. You know, in Britain, England, Germany, France.
Yeah.
You know, like, typically bands don't really break out into the mainstream in the US until they've already traveled to Europe and gotten a fan base there. And then everybody in the United States is like, ooh, they're coming back from a world tour. Maybe we should listen to them. You know,
really, so they were just like, we've got to go overseas if we want to spread our music.
Yeah, basically, you know, and like, I mean, we've talked about this before, that America's the United States of America's longest lasting export is entertainment. Straight up, you know, I mean, we've got Hollywood, we got LA, we got the music, and we got the movies.
They make movies all over now. Like, that's not even just in California anymore. I mean,
no, for sure. But like, when you think of, you know, the movie industry as a whole,
oh yeah, you think
of Hollywood.
Actually, fun fact. So I learned this the other day on social media. Friends was not filmed
in New York. No,
it was filmed in California. Mm-hmm. Now, here's the interesting part. Joey could not have been on Days of Our Lives because Days of Our Lives was filmed in California. But Friends was set in New York. So unless Joey's flying from New York to California and back every day,
you know,
there's an error, continuity error.
I mean, I guess that could happen. You know, there's bigwigs that fly all over the place every day.
Yeah, but Joey was like broke half the time.
Yeah, in Friends. Everybody's got an alter ego, man.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
he spent all his money on plane
Clark
tickets.
Kent and Superman. I'm just saying.
He spent all his money on plane tickets.
Yeah, for sure. He's built up those frequent flyer.
But no, I learned that. But the reason they wrote it into the script that he was on Days of Our Lives was because Days of Our Lives was filming lot was around the corner.
Right. Yeah. Fair enough.
So in real life, he could run back and forth.
Right.
But in the world of Friends, that wasn't possible.
That was not a thing. Yeah, for sure.
Anyway,
good little tidbits. There's your soap opera / sitcom knowledge for the day.
I'm full of useless knowledge.
Fuck yeah.
All right. So in February 1963, their acting manager at the time, not an acting manager.
I know it's confusing. We were just talking about sitcoms and soap operas.
Right. Giorgio Gomelski managed to secure a Sunday afternoon residency at the Crawdaddy Club in Richmond, London.
Crawdaddy.
Shortly thereafter, in May, the band hired Andrew Oldham as their manager. Oldham had been directed to the Stones by his previous clients, the Beatles. There's another connection.
Gasp.
Oldham, who was only 19 at the time, had not yet reached the age of maturity.
Majority.
Majority?
Yeah, the age of majority.
Okay, the age of majority. He was also younger than anyone in the band. As such, he was unable to obtain an agent's license or sign any contracts without his mother co-signing. He was not legally old enough to sign his own contracts for his own bands.
Including the Beatles.
His mom had to co-sign all of his contracts. Although, I feel like that might be also an advantage if she kind of like double-checked his work.
From a legal standpoint?
No, not an advantage from a legal standpoint, but like an advantage of like if she like read over the stuff too that she was putting her name on.
That had
and it was like,
from that like little extra seed of wisdom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
Or maybe she was just blindly following and just going, sure.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess.
Who knows?
Could be.
But it's just funny that he had to have his mother check his homework.
Yeah. Yeah, it's humorous.
By necessity, he joined with booking agent Eric Easton to secure record financing and assistance booking venues. Gomelski, who had no written agreement with the band, was not consulted.
Fuck him.
So
this is Gomelski that wasn't consulted. Basically,
they signed a contract with a new manager
without telling the
old manager who was only acting as a manager.
Right.
So he was not under contract.
No, he was just kind of helping out, I guess.
Maybe he was hoping for a permanent
manager position. It could have been.
And that's why they didn't tell him.
Fair enough.
I mean, otherwise, why wouldn't you tell? Because then he could double check.
Yeah. That's valid.
So if I'm managing a band and I am like, hey, I cannot bring you guys to the next level, but this agency can.
Mm-hmm.
I would happily broker a deal for that. Read it over. Be like, hey, this is better than what I can offer you.
For sure.
Sign this.
For sure. And definitely if your interests are aligned with the best interests of the band that you're trying to represent, as opposed to the interests of yourself as an entrepreneur.
Right.
And
you're not looking at it like, ooh, they're going to give me $50,000 if I fuck them over.
Right. That's believing in an artist.
Right. So, I mean, if the band trusts you and you're trying to help them move up and you can't give them that step up,
then you want to give them the opportunity to have a relationship with someone who can.
Right. And if you can help broker that, I mean,
then that might lead to more opportunities for you.
Right. Because they could recommend you to some of these bands that aren't even up to that level.
Right. You can be that
they need your help
level management,
moving from where they are to where they could be.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, every young, not necessarily in age, but in band age.
Yeah.
Needs a lower level management to some degree, whether they manage themselves or they find somebody who can manage them.
Yeah.
You're not gonna, if you just got out of the garage and started booking gigs in your local scene, you're not gonna be able to afford an LA fucking management.
Not an LA management. So here's my question. What makes a good manager?
Well, a few things. I mean, a manager wears several hats. So you're managing finances, you're managing booking, you're managing where the hell your musicians are at any given point in time. You're kind of like, depending on the level of management that you have, which, as I was kind of saying like the difference between local management and like national management. If you're assigned a manager by a big, multi-million, billion, whatever international conglomerate of a fucking record label, then your manager is basically your life coach.
Right.
Like they are keeping tabs on everything you do because you are a brand.
You're a product.
You're a product, and that product is the only thing that your label cares about.
Yeah.
Ultimately, they want their money, and that's it. They want their money. So if they're assigning you a manager, that manager is there to make sure that you're not doing anything that's going to.
Also, quick, just
besmirch their name.
Right. So the difference between a local manager and an assigned manager. The local manager works for you. An assigned manager works for the record label to babysit you.
Yes. Yes, precisely.
So if you get assigned a manager, that is not your best friend.
Not necessarily. I mean, there are managers in history that have really been genuinely in it for the music.
Yes.
That's on a personal level.
But if you're assigned someone because you can't behave,
that's
okay.
Yeah,
that person's there to make you behave.
Yeah.
That means you're about to get dropped.
Yeah, potentially, it means you better fucking stick to your P's and Q's and get your shit done.
Yeah. So anyways.
Yeah. This is scripted. Even the rants. Right. No, not really. Not the rants. Everything else, though.
Oldham tried to apply the strategy that Brian Epstein, then manager of the Beatles, was using and have the Rolling Stones wear suits. Yes, the Beatles wore suits.
Yeah.
And it made them look much more presentable.
Yeah. That's how the public could deal with their mop heads.
Yes. It wasn't long before Oldham changed his mind and imagined a band that contrasted with the Beatles. So the new manager comes in and he's like, hey, I'm going to dress you guys up just like the Beatles. And they probably would,
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm going to dress you guys up just like the Beatles. That's what they do. That's what we're going to do. All right, cool, whatever. Then he's like, wait, what about instead of being just like them, we make you the opposite of them? And it worked.
Yeah, absolutely. And even their music, while being in the same sort of family, is almost opposite because as far
it's
as
much louder and
it's more bombastic. It's more rebellious.
Yes.
Which
is why I called them punk rock in the beginning. At the very beginning.
Right. Yeah, for
because
sure.
they were
kind of
the original punk rock.
Sure, kind of. And there's a lot of people that'll disagree with that, but
I mean, surf music was rebel rock,
right?
And even that was not rebellious sounding to today's standards.
No, for sure.
But each generation of music that comes out,
especially
the older generation is like, that's noise.
that's noise, that is. Ridiculous.
Nobody likes the next generation music.
No, for sure. Well, I don't know, man. Some of the shit coming out these days.
Oh, I know. I still follow a lot of new bands and stuff, but we're also music fans.
Truth.
We're not. I believe there's a difference between being a fan of music and being a fan of a band.
Truth.
Truth. Being a fan of music, you're a fan of just all music.
Yeah, pretty much everything.
It doesn't matter.
No.
But when you're a fan of Sammy Hagar, you only listen to
Sammy Hagar and the like.
Yeah. Hair metal.
Fuck yeah.
That's all you listen to.
Dude, I was like nothing but Motley Crue for years.
I mean,
and I don't know how I feel about that now.
I always wanted the emo hair.
I had the emo hair for a minute. That was a mistake.
My family did not allow me to grow my hair out.
Oh yeah, see, my until he shaved it off, like my earliest memories of my dad, his hair was like halfway down his back. You know,
I'm pretty sure it was long the first time I met him.
Yeah, it's longer now. It has been since he retired, basically. Like
then he cut it off again because it was cut off the last time he came home.
Oh,
the last time I saw him, it was.
Oh yeah, short. It is shorter now. Yeah, you're right. So yeah, my dad had long hair, and then it was short, and then it was long, and now it's short again. I've had long hair since like my sophomore year.
I just recently was like, I'm not getting another haircut until the end of winter.
Until the end of winter. We're talking what, like March?
Yeah.
You'll see the progression of his hair growth. We'll have to show it off every episode. Show it off right now.
All right.
Y'all are going to be amazed at the transformation normally my hair in the next couple of months.
Very short. All right. Like
almost buzzed.
Almost buzz cut.
Look at that mop. Look at that.
It's almost on the forehead. Himself. It's on the forehead. You know? There's bangs.
It's banging, man. We'll do a checkup next time. So anyway, this guy's he starts out trying to put him in suits like the Beatles, right? And like I was saying, like you were kind of saying, this is almost could be considered like Frontlines punk, almost. It's very bluesy, but it's definitely a lot more rebellious than the Beatles. So trying to put them in suits ended up just not making sense.
Well, and so he comes up with, this is the look he comes up with. Unmatched clothing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so like a red shirt with blue jeans.
Yeah.
Long hair, like yes, grow the hair out, but not brushed down.
Yeah, shaggy.
Or combed or anything. It was like put some hairspray on it and just there you go.
Yeah,
there's your hair.
Get it real wet and throw it under a hairdryer.
There you go. And an unclean appearance. So yeah, like I said, like just messing up the hair and look like you haven't shaved in 3 days. And,
right. Not like unwashed.
Right.
But just unmanicured.
Yes.
You know.
And then for the music, he's like, I want raunchy, gamey, unpredictable bunch of undesirables. So act like freaking hoodlums when you go out there.
Yeah.
If you did that today, you would be like escorted out of the building.
Acting like hoodlums?
I mean, going up there and just acting
a fool.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of acts that are a little wild. Still.
Guar.
Guar is very theatrical, though. That's
yes.
A little different. So his first act as manager is to remove Ian Stewart as their acting keyboardist on their lineup. Now, he was removed from quote unquote the band, but he stays on as the Rolling Stones road manager, right? So we've got Oldham is the manager while they are at their home base.
So Oldham gets to stay home and work from an office.
Basically,
and Stewart is his
with the band
on the road. Hey, you report back to me if you have. He's the assistant manager.
Basically, yeah, kind of. Yeah. And like at this time, you think, they don't have cell phones. There is no internet.
No, but you had your hotel phone. You had your hotel room phones.
Right.
You had gas station phones. You had truck stop phones. You had pay phones. There was ways to make a phone call.
For sure. But you needed to have a liaison. Essentially, you needed somebody
right. You don't want 6 or 8 members of your band trying to call you at different hours.
Right.
They go to him, and he's got the basic instructions. He's got, okay, I know I'm allowed to authorize this, and this.
Right.
But I need authorization for this and this. So if I can handle these three without bugging Oldham, perfect.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
These emergencies that I can't answer come up,
then I can.
The next time I get to a phone, I'll call him. I'll let you know.
And that's the way it'll be.
And then, you're in the middle, you're flying down the highway and people are coming to you, left and right on the bus or whatever you're riding in. And you've got like 6 different questions that you only know the answer to like 3 of them. So you got 3 questions. You're like, next time we get to a phone, I'll ask.
Right.
So instead of 6 or, 3 people trying to call you at the same time with their different questions,
you've got your
one person that makes one phone call, asks 3 questions, and then goes back to those people and goes, here's your answer, here's your answer, here's your answer.
Yeah. 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 And it works out pretty well. And like, so he's their road manager. He's also, at this point, though he's not currently on stage with the Rolling Stones, he is playing keyboards on their albums in studio.
Okay, so when they come home from being out on the road, they've got some new stuff they want to record. Instead of having the guy that's on the road with them also playing in studio, you let him rest.
Yeah.
You guys jump in the studio, and your road manager, who
was your previous keyboardist, knows how you guys want to sound on an album. Right.
Is there to play.
Right. Yeah.
So he still gets a chance to jam with you guys.
For sure.
Just not on the road, because on the road he's got a different job.
Right. Right. This is like what was his name from the Beach Boys? The dude, yes. He wrote all their music basically, but he didn't
stay
tour.
Home.
Yeah, he didn't tour. Although this guy's going with them on tour.
Yeah, this guy goes with them on tour. He just doesn't play on tour, probably because while they're out on stage playing, he's got other stuff he's working on.
For sure, though.
Booking the next venue. I mean, your next venue is already booked, but then, lining up hotel rooms, lining up how you're going to get there. Like, is it far enough? Is it too far away for us to drive? Do we need to fly? How can I get the equipment there ahead of time? Do we need to fly with the equipment? Do we have extra equipment? Do they have equipment we can use?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
Mm-hmm. So
nowadays, one band will have 3 trucks
for sure
of equipment.
For sure,
you've got
all of your front of house stuff.
You've got A setup.
Mm-hmm.
You got B setup,
mm-hmm.
and you got backup truck
mm-hmm.
that has a double of everything in trucks A and B.
Indeed.
So while you're at concert A, they're already setting up concert B. And if concert B needs something, or concert A took something from concert B, concert C truck
right, has
the backup.
Yeah.
Everything is a backup.
Mm-hmm. mm-hmm.
WWE is the same way. You'll see like 6 trucks sitting outside. When you watch the show, you'll see all these boxes and stuff everywhere. Like, that is all equipment that they need to build that Illusion and arena.
Mm-hmm.
And then while you're watching Monday Night Raw, they are at the next Monday Night Raw location or SmackDown location building that set.
Right. Yeah.
Day, 2 days in advance.
Yep.
And then while your performers get to head to the next venue, you have a crew of people tearing down that venue to go to the next spot.
Right. And it continues the cycle.
Yep.
So he's off stage with them initially, right? But by the mid 1970s, he was back on stage playing keys once again.
I mean, maybe they didn't. Their current keyboardist, or the previous, was wanted out. They wanted something different, whatever the thing was.
Or
they still had him. And maybe by that time he was like, I can manage and play.
Potentially. Well, it may be possible that they didn't have a keyboardist on tour.
Oh.
That may be a thing. See, the decision to pull him from their on-stage lineup was made, as was quoted by Mr. Oldham himself in an interview. Well, he just doesn't look the part, and 6 is too many for fans to remember the faces in the picture.
Okay.
So, Oldham also reduced the band members' ages in publicity material to make them appear as teenagers.
Wait, so
this decision was made entirely for the image of the Rolling Stones, and arguably...
So are they older than...
They are old. Well, I mean, we know what their real ages are now.
No. I'm saying, are they older than the Beatles?
Age-wise?
Age-wise.
I believe so.
Okay.
Maybe not by much, but I believe so. So yeah, this is like one of the earlier instances of a manager like making super critical band decisions based on an image. And like him deciding, let's do Suits, no, let's not do that, was a great decision that didn't really affect the band much. But deciding to pull somebody off of the stage is a big decision to be made for the image of a band. But arguably a good decision. He's right. When you think about the typical consumer these days, like, people's attention spans are not great. So trying to remember that many faces and put them together, like, I can see the logic.
So it was going to bother me until I looked it up. But Ringo is actually older than Jagger.
Oh.
Ringo was born in 40. Jagger was born in 43.
Fair enough. There you go. There you have it.
So they were actually younger than the Beatles, and then they made them even younger.
Well, at least Ringo, anyway.
Well, yeah, Ringo. But because I looked up the oldest member of each band.
Fair enough. So by the age tops, the Beatles got it.
In April of 1963, Decca Records, who refused to broker a deal with the Beatles because guitar bands are on their way out.
Mm.
You
remember that statement?
Gave the Rolling Stones a contract with favorable terms.
Mm-hmm.
So they saw the error of their ways.
Yeah.
And they were like, you know what? We're not missing out on this one.
Yeah, for sure.
We want this one.
Yeah. Yep.
And I feel like that was very lucrative.
Yeah. I would say so.
Do you think it was more lucrative
than their non-existent deal with the Beatles?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Would have been. If they would have picked the Beatles instead.
I would say probably. Well, maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure because I don't know who grossed the most. Who grossed the much? I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. Like, they both obviously would have been very profitable for sure. The Beatles, I think, would have had more risk involved because they were kind of the beginning of it. So
yeah, they were the first go around,
right?
I don't think they would have had as good of a contract. I don't think they would have gotten as good of a contract. I think the reason the Stones got such a sweet contract is because they passed on the Beatles.
I think you're absolutely right. I think you're absolutely right about that. 100%.
So Beatles probably would have got screwed.
Probably. Just like everybody else at the time.
I mean, I'm just saying that they would have lowballed the Beatles and been like,
oh, absolutely.
All right, we'll sign you, but we're not sure your genre is going to stick around. Mm-hmm. So,
not to mention, like I said, at this time, they don't want this genre to stick around.
Right. So we'll sign you, but we're not really gonna invest
cater
too
to
much in you.
Yeah, that's probably how.
And I know another band that happened to. Like they got the record label, they got the dream, and then the record label buried them.
Yeah,
did not push them, did not promote them, did not help them in any way, and now they're independent and doing great, but almost killed the band.
And it happens, man. It happens. Like financially, if a record label doesn't, well, I don't know. I mean, if the label's actively not investing in you, is your debt still as immense as it would be if they are? Like if you get this label position, right? And they actively decide that they're not going to do anything for you. Like when a label pushes you hard, it's not free money. It's a loan.
Right.
That has to be paid back.
Right.
So if they're not putting any money into you,
I mean, maybe they got out of the
financial ruin.
I'm not sure if they were able to get out of the contract and that's kind of what saved them. Because I think if they would have let the label bury them completely, they wouldn't be able to use the band name at all anymore.
I suppose that's fair. I guess depending on the terms of the contract.
Yeah. Because if they own your name, then you've got to change.
Yeah, then you've got to change everything.
Yeah.
You are no longer your own brand.
Right. And if you used your real name, I mean...
Can you copyright somebody's actual name? Like, given birth name?
Yes. So a quick WWE story. When John Cena signed with WWE, and officially got signed as a superstar, and they started pushing him to the top, he made sure that he owned his name. There's quite a few wrestlers that have done the same thing. Even if it's just a stage name, The Rock owns the name The Rock.
Right.
Hulk Hogan owned the name Hulk Hogan, even though his real name was Terry. But he could use Hulk no matter where he went. He went because he did go to TNA for a while, which was a competitor, but was able to wrestle under the name Hulk because he had in a contract that he owned his name. That's why if you see some of your WWE wrestlers go from WWE to AEW, they have to change their names. But Goldust, Cody Rhodes isn't even his real name, but he has in a contract that is his name. He is part of the Rhodes family. No relation, unfortunately, because that's not his real last name. But he had in a contract started by his father that they were to keep their names because they were actual brothers and actual father, son, and everything, that they got to keep their names. But yeah, so you can copyright someone's name, but it's very specific.
For performance purposes.
So, my name is Steven Rhodes. There is an artist named Steven Rhodes. He makes t-shirts a lot. I've had a lot of people ask me if I'm the same dude. That dude's from Australia, and I'm too fucking poor to be him. So anyway,
distinction made.
If I became an artist and tried making t-shirts or art in any way, shape, or form, I would not be able to use my name. I would have to use a pseudonym or whatever, because that name is already copyrighted
in a performance context.
In that context, in an art context.
Well, I mean, yeah, for sure.
So, yes, you can copyright someone's name, but it's only within a specific,
for sure, right,
thing. You can't just say, "I own your entire name." You can't use that name ever.
Right? Yeah, for sure. I'm doing it tomorrow. Anybody that has
you can't use that name for whatever.
It's my name now. You can't have it.
Basically,
that's it. So Decca refused the Beatles and got a contract for the Rolling Stones.
And they
Favorable
sweetened
contract.
that deal because they didn't want to miss out.
Yes. And they sweetened it pretty freaking heavily too.
Did they? I never got to see. Like, it just says that it was favorable.
Yeah,
that's all.
No, I got fucking. They've got. So they were to receive royalty rates 3 times higher
crap
than pretty much any recording artist.
I wonder if that was their first offer, or if that was negotiated,
or if it was negotiated, was brokered. I mean, well,
if that was the first offer, that was that's a take it or leave it for one.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And for 2, that was a big boss going, don't fucking let them leave.
Yeah, don't fuck this up. Don't fuck this up.
So they walked in there and they were like, what is the best deal we can give? Like, what is our limit?
Yeah, so for real. So they end up with a royalty rate that's 3 times higher than what was typical. They were given full artistic control of their recordings and ownership of the master tapes. So
that was brokered.
That was absolutely had to have been brokered.
Oh yeah,
you know,
even giving that up willingly.
No, for sure. Even today, typically you don't own your masters. Like the amount of money that Taylor Swift had to put in so that she could buy her masters back, so that she can do what she wants to with her music.
So she still doesn't own those original albums anymore.
No. That's what I'm saying. What she was.
Douchebag, I don't know his name. I can't remember his name. I've heard it a few times. My sister's a Swiftie. But no, he's a douchebag because he saw that the rights went out and he bought them up thinking he could make a quick buck. Instead, Taylor, being the petty woman she is, and I love it. She goes, fuck you. I own the lyrics. I'll re-record this shit.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, no, this dude owns the rights to those specific recordings.
Right. That's so if anybody's wondering, that's what Taylor's version means.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
You know, you see these older albums and you're like, well, what's Taylor's version? There's like an unedited. No, it's not an unedited or a director's cut or whatever you think it might be.
It's literally re-recorded.
It's just re-recorded because somebody bought
the original recordings.
And a lot of stores won't even put that one out. Everything you see in Taylor Swift is Taylor's version or her new stuff that she needed to do that with.
Right.
So you don't even see. The only way you'll see the original recordings that the other guy owns is if you go on like Spotify or YouTube or something like that.
Right. And find it. So they've got ownership of their master tapes, which, as we've just gone over, is huge, right? So this deal would also allow the band to use non-Decca associated recording studios. And that's also pretty big, just to say that.
So is my question with that is, does that mean like, so if they're out on the road and they want to record, they don't have to try to find a Decca approved one?
I'm pretty sure, yeah, basically.
So that they can just find any local studio?
Well, it might not have been necessarily any local studio, but yeah, they were not strictly held by contract to using.
So if they're in a Decca dead zone, you know, there's no Decca studio within a 50-mile radius.
Right, and they need to get something recorded. If there's a studio around, they can use it. So
that sounds sweet.
Yeah, for sure. It'd be fantastic.
Because the other sounds like a pain in the ass.
Yeah, absolutely. So Regent Sound Studios in London became their preferred location. And this is a non-Decca.
Okay, so less of being on the road and needing to record, more of when we go
convenient
home
for you,
we can still record and get it to you without having to fly to the United States.
Right, and record in your studio. In
your studio.
Right.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And like it makes much more sense. So this is a mono facility, which is it means that they hadn't adapted 2-channel left and right stereo recording yet.
Okay.
That just kind of goes to show how early we are in audio in general. At this particular
that also
point.
goes to show you how fast
Things
audio
change.
technology moved.
Oh yeah.
Because we're only in the 60s.
And audio recordings at this point are 70 years old, maybe.
Yeah.
Like we're talking late 1800s, early 1800s, the first wax audio recordings were made. So, and in addition to this mono versus stereo setting, because stereo hadn't been widely accepted yet. Like we were just saying, we're talking only a few decades from the beginning of audio in general.
Right.
So stereo is still extremely new. On top of that, and I find this hilarious with modern wisdom, this studio is equipped with those like paper, like brown paper foam egg crates.
Oh, okay.
As audio, like as room dampening, as
listen.
treatment.
I got a funny story. When I lived in my apartment and started High Life, I recorded from a utility closet with cardboard boxes pinned to the wall next to me. And I would just shift my body so that my voice went towards the cardboard.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, definitely like speaking at cardboard is a lot better than speaking at drywall.
Yes.
For sure.
Well,
100%.
No, that apartment didn't have drywall.
Oh, no.
My side didn't have drywall.
Like,
it was
neither
plaster
did ours. It was, yeah.
And paneling that was painted.
Yeah.
No, the other apartment had drywall and had windowsills and everything. I had brick walls and plaster walls. There was no nailing anything to anything. You put a nail in the wall and it just bent.
Yeah. Fuck your nail. Iron my ass. But no, just the simple fact, this is we're talking about a professional recording studio.
Right.
That's using paper egg crates as room treatment. And the reason that I find this hilarious is because that is the most ridiculous fire hazard.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like, not to mention, it doesn't really do much for treatment. I mean, it would stop reflections and high frequency stuff. And this is me being an audio nerd, but it's not going to do much.
The wall in front of us is another tapestry, but two has sound absorption panels.
Yeah, it's got some panels on
it behind it. That plus these awesome microphones, makes this room much
more manageable. Yeah. Yeah, because it is really very much just kind of a big drywall.
I've got tapestry there, tapestry here, stuff hanging up everywhere.
Yeah. And there's absorbent materials in the room too. But y'all don't need to see any of that.
No, you don't need to see the rest of the room.
But no, I find that hilarious.
I do. So I went on last night. Went on a Limp Brewery tour of the basement.
For sure.
So it was a ghost walk type tour. Okay, so it wasn't like the brewery tour where they jump out and scare you.
Right. Well, and I mean, if any of you that don't know, the Lemp Mansion and the Lemp Brewery here in St. Louis, where Budweiser was housed, basically for a while, right?
No,
that wasn't the Lemp family.
Budweiser put Lemp out of business, drove them out of business. They had their own brewery, like right across the highway. Well, where the highway got put in between them, between the mansion and the brewery.
All right. Scratch that.
There's a very long history to the Limp. Anyways, there's a lot of ghost tours in St. Louis for Limp.
Yeah.
But in the basement of the brewery, where you're still allowed to safely go, there is a section of the wall torn out to show you what they used for insulation back then. They used cork. Walls were made of cork. You want to talk about a fire hazard?
No joke. No joke.
These walls, like the guy goes up and it looks like a brick wall. I mean, it's very dark down there. He's only got hanging light bulbs, and they're remote control light bulbs because you can't put Wi-Fi down there because it's all brick or very thick walls. So he goes up to this wall and it looks like brick, and he goes bang bang, and I was like, why did that just absorb all sound? And he goes, the walls are made of cork. And I'm like, this is a fire hazard.
For sure. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. The old walls were made of and so like these tunnels that we were down in. So there is passageways and tunnels, which I didn't know there was a difference, but apparently there's a difference between passageway and tunnels.
When is a trail a path?
But there's all sorts of these things down underneath all the buildings to the brewery. And some companies rent space in here
for storage
and stuff.
Yeah.
And then some people do ghost tours in the basement and get to explore. There's tunnels and stuff that connect all of the buildings. He's like, you can go from every building in the compound without ever seeing the light of day.
You know, something to be said.
He's like, a dispatcher could go from one building all down, all the way down and go all the way around and never have to go step foot outside.
Well, and I mean, I guess when you're seated in a metropolitan hub, that's probably super convenient.
Well, and a lot of the rooms we were in was where they pumped the beer through.
For sure.
For sure. That makes sense. The main room we were in was one of the rooms where they counted how many gallons or barrels of beer passed through there, so they knew how much they had to pay in taxes.
Fair enough.
So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So egg crates.
Bad idea. Don't do it.
Cork. Another bad idea.
Don't do that either. So Oldham, who had no recording experience, but made himself the band's producer, claimed that Regent had a sound that leaked instrument to instrument the right way. And as an audio engineer, for sure, there's something to be said for crosstalk, especially if you're trying to record a band live off the floor. It's a different sound. It's a different energy.
So try to explain that.
So we're talking about mic bleed, basically.
Okay.
The guitar amp is in the drum mics. The bass is in the keyboard mics as well, and also to remember that Regent Sound, as I was just saying, is a mono facility. Mm-hmm. So everything's coming down the center channel anyway. Everything's coming down one path, right, as opposed to left and right.
Right.
So the fact that there is so much bleed in the mics from a stereo standpoint still sounds cool if it's done right. But if it's done wrong, your microphones are out of phase, frequencies cancel each other out. It can be a big pain, which can happen in mono too. But
so in mono, would that even matter?
Yes, it does matter.
Okay.
It does still matter because your microphones can still cancel each other out, regardless of whether you're listening to it left and right, or if you're listening to it from one speaker, they can still cancel each other out. So you still have to do it right, which is why he's saying that this studio leaks instrument to instrument in a good way.
Okay.
So they've got all their setup in a way that everybody can basically have all of their equipment in the same room with all the mics in the same room and not be canceling each other out.
All right.
So, even though he's not a recording engineer, he's got decent ears. And apparently the way that it was bleeding from mic to mic created this wall of noise that I guess worked well for the band. You know, I mean, when you think about early Rolling Stones recordings, like it's big. You know, it sounds like they're in a decent sized space. You know, it's cool. It's a cool sound, man. And apparently Regent also had extremely low booking prices.
Oh.
So, you know, that might have had
some help.
That might have held some favor in the decision of recording.
Well, I mean, when you're looking to pay, you know, you're like, okay, you know, I'm in charge of the band. Here's our budget. This budget also pays me. I don't want to use, you know, a very expensive recording studio, but we need something decent enough to
still produce a decent
sound.
Yeah, for sure.
So we're not going top of the line, but we're not going, you know.
Yeah, we're not going bottom of the barrel either.
We're not going bottom of the barrel either.
You know. And I mean, well, as such, as a matter of fact, this would have offered the Rolling Stones the ability to record longer sessions. If your time in the studio is cheaper, you can be there more.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a big benefit because, like, I think I've read that at this time, the typical recording session for the Rolling Stones outside of Regent Sound would have been like 3 hours.
Holy crap.
You know, for the same price of 3 hours at another studio, you could get a full 10-hour day from this place, you know, which is fantastic. In fact, the entirety of their first album, The Rolling Stones, was recorded at Regent Sound. All of it. Every bit of it.
Nice.
That's cool.
You think they did in one day?
No. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Possibly.
I don't know.
Could have been.
The Rolling Stones' first single, a cover of Chuck Berry's Come On, was released on June 7th, 1963. They actually refused to play it live, and Decca only invested in one ad to promote it.
One ad. Not much.
The band was like, listen, we're all the fan of Chuck.
Yeah. Sure. We'll do it.
But
I don't care about it
once, and that's it.
Yep. Everybody gets one.
You either listen to the recording or you don't hear it.
Yeah, you know, whatever.
and maybe that's respect.
For sure. For the fact that
we're not trying to take over.
Yeah. Yeah. We're not trying to get big on covers.
Well, not trying to get big on covers, and we're not trying to overshadow
the great Chuck Berry. For sure.
You know, because there's cover songs I've heard, but you can't find them on Spotify or anything like that. It's only on YouTube.
Yeah.
And it's happens. Like, okay, like I get it. Like, you're not trying to make it have more plays than the original.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. For sure. And that's valid because there's some covers out there that are a lot bigger than the originals. There's a few.
Johnny Cash.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anybody who didn't know, Johnny Cash covered the song Hurt.
Yeah.
It was originally written by the lead singer of Nine Inch Nails.
Trent Reznor himself.
And he even said in an interview, I never thought I wrote a song for another person until I heard him sing it. Trent, that is his song. And they gave him the rights to the song.
Mm-hmm, for sure. Well, and I actually just found out recently that I could be wrong about this. I think it was Bob Rock produced Johnny Cash's version of that.
Uh-huh.
And he was also Nine Inch Nails producer for a long time.
Oh,
so cool. He already knew that song very intimately.
Yeah.
You know, to be able to help Johnny realize his vision of it. So like that's
I always
really
thought
cool.
that Nine Inch Nails covered it until it was corrected.
Uh-huh.
But I always thought they covered it. And I honestly love the Johnny version better.
Yeah, absolutely. It's got more of that painful emotion in it.
It's just the only thing that bothers me in the Nine Inch Nails version is it's too slow.
Not that Johnny's isn't slow.
No, Johnny's isn't slow.
But it feels better.
Yeah.
It does.
Not that it's not slow.
Right.
It is still slow.
Right.
But it's not as slow. It's like
not as slow. It's a little.
It's like he just picked it up by like a half.
Yeah, maybe. And it's the vibe, the general vibe.
That voice, that gruff. That was like the last thing he recorded, wasn't it?
Probably. Not far from it.
Yeah. I think it might have been one of the last things he recorded, at least.
I wouldn't be surprised.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So they refused to do this cover.
They did it once, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Oldham directed Rolling Stones fan club members would start buying copies of the single from record stores that were pulled by the charts, thus helping Come On rise to number 21 in the singles chart.
So like Decca's like, we're not going to promote this. The Rolling Stones are like, we're not going to play this. And Oldham's like, fuck you both. We're going to sell the shit out of this. And it ends up at number 21 on the UK charts.
I'm going to tell the audience, only go to these certain stores that actually report charts.
Right. Yes. Specifically. It's like, this man as a manager is a goddamn genius.
And he's like winging it, wasn't he?
Pretty much. I mean, I would assume. I don't know whether he was winging it or not. Maybe he was just born with a business brain.
Maybe.
Crazy, though. To get to number 21 with no promotional backing.
Right.
And no desire to play it. Like, I love it.
Having a charting single gave the band new opportunities to play outside of London. The first of these gigs was at the Outlook Club in Middlesbrough alongside the Hollies on July 13th. Later in 1963, Andrew Oldham and booking agent Eric Easton were able to book the band's first big UK concert tour as a supporting act for American stars, Bo Diddley, Little Richard, and the Everly Brothers, two of which, maybe all three. I don't know if we've talked about Bo Diddley.
Yeah, we mentioned Bo Diddley. I'm not sure if we've talked about the Everly Brothers.
I remember mentioning the Everly
Then we've
Brothers.
Probably talked about all three of them. And these are guys that were getting big alongside Chuck Berry.
Right. They were from Chuck Berry's
time.
Yeah.
His
20 years before.
Yeah.
During this tour, the Stones recorded their second single, a Lennon and McCartney song, I Want to Be Your Man. It reached number 13 on the UK charts. The Beatles' own recording of that song is included on the album.
Quote,
the album is called With the Beatles from 1963. So they put both versions on that album.
On the Beatles album?
With the Beatles. They put the Beatles recording
and the Stones recording. Fair enough. That's cool.
On the 1st of January 1964, the Rolling Stones became the first band ever to play on BBC's Top of the Pops. The first band.
The first to be on the Top of the Pops.
So is it like a new show? Because I'm just saying, like, if you have a show called Top of the Pops, like...
Well, I mean, if you think about pops,
why would you already
quote
have...
unquote, pops is just what's popular.
Right. But I'm saying, like, so was it like a new show and they were like the pilot episode?
Could have been.
Because, like, if you have a show top of the Pops, like, why haven't you been inviting bands?
Well, see, they don't want rock to be a thing.
By this time, like, everybody just accepts rock and roll, right?
See, but that might be the reason that they were the first band to be there.
Well, maybe.
Possibly. It is possible that it was a brand new show. I don't know. I didn't find that research. I didn't bother to research that. My apologies for not having an accurate answer to this.
You weren't expecting that question.
I speculate that it is possible that because rock and roll is becoming accepted, they have become the first band, quote unquote, band.
Okay, yeah.
To play Top of the Pops. Could also be a brand new show. I don't know.
They could have had artists, but not bands.
Right. Like Mr. Conway Twitty.
On Top of the Pops, they performed I Want to Be Your Man. In January 1964. They released a self-titled EP, which became their number one record in the UK. Their third single, a cover of Buddy Holly's Not Fade Away, reflecting Bo Diddley's style, was released in February of 1964 and reached number 3.
So all 3 of their first hits are covers.
Yeah.
All 3 of them. So
doing that kind of like just make you a cover band at this point?
You know, I mean, well,
I'm just kidding, because Disturbed does a lot of covers, but they're still their own. Disturbed,
yeah. Disturbed?
On the point, they call them Disturbed.
Oh.
And I just picked that up.
Yeah, all right, fair enough.
Disturbed.
I was like, is this somebody else? No, for sure. They do. Absolutely.
They have a lot of covers, but they're reimagined.
Yeah, it's more of a remake than a cover. Which I guess this last one you were talking about was kind of that same way, because they took a Buddy Holly song and did it in more of a Bo Diddley style. So, you're kind of mixing influences on this.
By June of 1964, the Rolling Stones beat out the Beatles for number 1 UK band and officially joined the British invasion. So we're going to leave it at that for now.
Indeed.
We'll call this part 1.
Yes, we have much more to say.
Yeah, we just realized how, much notes we have.
And how long this is already.
So we're going to call this part 1.
Indeed.
And we'll be back for part 2.
For sure. Please stay tuned.